Hey, this is Frank Yost, another edition of the Real Estate Cam with Inman. And today we're going to talk about fiduciary duty. Let's turn down the boat a little bit so it doesn't make as much noise. And instead of being in the car for Real Estate Cam, we're actually going to be on a boat. So you might see a little bit more spinning. So for those of you that love the spinning, you'll be happy. So fiduciary duty is what I want to talk about. I got asked the other day, there's been an issue in my community about tree cutting. It's kind of like those other issues that I've seen with speed bumps, and the residents will debate things. And one person used as part of their debate with me, well, if you were selling a house and you knew that your buyer would only buy the house if they could cut down 2 trees, and you knew that it was illegal to cut down those trees, would you actually tell them that they couldn't do it and actually risk losing the deal? And I was like, what? That is exactly what we stand for, and that's exactly what we have to do. As agents, we have what's called a fiduciary duty, and this is what they're trying to get stockbrokers to have to be required to do this. A stockbroker can sell you a stock even though they might be doing the exact opposite position, except for Goldman Sachs just paid $500 million for doing that. But they don't have a stockbroker does not have a fiduciary duty. A financial analyst does, but a stockbroker does not. A real estate agent does have a fiduciary duty, a legal obligation to do what's in the best interest of their client. Now, there are some limitations to that, which include our commissions. We're not obligated to, at the last second, throw in some money. There's no fiduciary duty to do that portion, which might be in their best interest, because it'd be to our detriment. But apart from that, we're supposed to do things that are in their best interest. So if we know that something is illegal, yes, you actually have to stop and possibly lose the commission and inform them of their rights. We represent the client. We don't represent our paychecks. And so I just want to get feedback from other people, whether they fully embrace this concept of fiduciary duty. Another example is I'm in law school right now, and I was in a law school class, and they're talking about how lawyers have fiduciary duty, and then they said unlike realtors and stockbrokers, and I said, whoa, excuse me, hold on, I'm a real estate agent, and what are you talking about? And they said, well, you can't have a fiduciary duty because you get paid a commission if the transaction occurs. So yes, it's a little bit different than a lawyer that might charge per hour. So the lawyer charging per hour might actually advise you for 5 or 10 hours not to do something, or not to take on something that might be a larger liability. That might end up being a larger court case where they make more money. So, but with a realtor might spend 3 to 5 hours with the client and ultimately tell them, you know what, buying is not right for you. And yes, the difference here is we would get paid 0, as opposed to a lawyer that would at least get their hourly rate for those 5 hours. So, I mean, have you ever talked anyone out of buying? I talk people out of buying all the time when they give me the wrong reasons. If they want to buy, that's great. But if they come to me saying, oh, well, my accountant said I need to buy for the tax savings. And then I go through like all the pros and cons for that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You're saving more money renting. You can get a bigger house in a few years. You don't have to do this, starter home thing and hope that the market goes up in order to upgrade. What are you doing? And then just play devil's advocate with the person, and I've lost deals all the time. But in the long term, it makes you more money because it establishes a brand, it establishes trust, not only with that person, but with the next 10 people that they might talk about. So if they have a colleague that's considering buying or selling, they're definitely going to say, hey, you want to contact Frank because he'll tell you whether you're doing the right thing, regardless of whether or not he gets paid. And in the long run, I guess I'm a selfish person, you'll make more money that way by being truthful, by taking a long-term approach, not trying to make the quick buck, and making sure that everything is being done hyper-vigilantly, if that's a word, to the best interest, for the best interest of the client. It's called a fiduciary duty. So, what are your examples of times where you've done things that have made you less money in the short term, might have made you more money in the long term, might not have, and are you fully embracing this concept of fiduciary duty, doing everything to the best interest of your client, even if it's at your detriment, even if it's harder for you to take a few more steps, to fax a few more pieces of paper. All right, this is so my name again is Frank Yost. You can follow me on Twitter at Frankly Realty, and my blog.franklyrealty.com. Make sure to follow me if you like what I'm saying. Retweet it, because I have seen that people have retweeted the message a few times. I appreciate that, and I get a lot of direct emails. Instead of emailing me directly, you can do that as well. But why not? Let's post it on the Inman message board and have a little dialogue there about fiduciary duty. All right, thanks. Ciao.